Hi, my name is Alec Calvagna, and this is problem set 6. So, moving on, we have our research question. That is our null hypothesis and our alternative hypothesis. Our null hypothesis is that our variables are statistically insignificant for our regression model, versus our alternative hypothesis is that our variables are statistically significant and passed our heteroscedasticity test and multicollinearity tests. With that said, our data set was compiled from the union data set where we looked at the effects of our variables across our regression analysis and then the effects on the predicted change, or I'm sorry, not change, but actually chance of an individual's involvement in a union based on all other variables. So in our data set, we had a total of 4,191 observations between 20 different columns of variables. For those columns, here we have them as a description of data: age, female, married, race, union, NE states, SO states, CE states, WE states, private, government, education, less than high school graduate, education, high school graduate, education, some college, education level of an AA degree, a bachelor's level degree, and then also an advanced degree. Lastly, we have our average weekly earnings, and that is the full table of data. Moving on to our probit regression. After running a regression, we were able to find our coefficient scores and standard errors and p-values, which are representative of the effects of our variables on our output variable, which is whether or not a person is in a union. So with that being said, we can see the coefficients here: black, white, age squared, weekly earnings, private education, I'm sorry, not education, but private company, and that's referring to whether or not a company is or isn't a union. High school education, college education, AA degree, advanced degree, or a college degree. We can see here that the biggest effect comes from our private companies, which are less likely to have unionized employees, as we can see from our coefficient scores. Moving on to the regression coefficients. Here we have them all listed out, and then our final regression formula down below. That final regression formula takes that union variable and applies it against black, white, age squared, weekly earnings, all the variables that we counted before, and spits back to us regression analysis coefficients to detail how they affect the change in whether or not a person is predicted to be a union employee or not. So with that said, being a black person has a 0.031% chance of increasing the likelihood that a person is in a union. So as a dummy variable is 0 or 1, if that's a 1, then we're adding to the coefficient, or to the constants coefficient, 0.031%, which is representative of the increase in percentage of that person being a union employee because they are black. And that goes for all of the coefficients. So for our fit of regression, our measure of fit to the probit regression showed that it is statistically significant, which is why we do conclude that the model fits the data. We used the Hosmer, Lemichaud, and the Pearson's chi-squared goodness of fit test to check these statistics in our regression, which gave us a Pearson score of 4,058.91 and a probability chi-squared of that to oh 2, which showed us a score of 0.3180. With that, the Hosmer-Lemshow test had a statistic score of 99.99 and a probability chi-squared that showed us 0.2659. The probit predicted probability, meaning our constant, was 0.41752133, meaning that is the direct chance of a person from our data set being a unionized employee. Again, thank you so much, and I'm Alec. I hope you have a great day.